In this video, I'm going to talk about the Fawn response, which is from our primitive mind. Now, the primitive mind is the area of our mind that firstly formed. It's from our distant ancestors who were always hunting and gathering, always in survival mode. The primitive mind is essentially the survival mind, the survival mechanics that are built in for us to survive. And, you know, in a society in which you're hunting and gathering, being in that primitive mind is very helpful. But in the modern day society with running water, it's not, it can kind of cause more problems than it can solutions. So what happens is the subconscious mind, whenever it encounters something for the very first time, it automatically labels it an unknown. And it registers all unknowns as negatives. So when it encounters a negative, that base level of thinking is what is reverted to. Our sympathetic nervous system is activated and we go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Our thinking is limited to these four responses, okay? So when it comes to the fawn response, fawning is essentially people-pleasing. So an example of this is you receive some feedback for some work that you've done, and you don't view this as feedback. You instead view it as a critique or an attack on your character. And your response to this, depending on the circumstance, depending on the person, is to people please. So you place this information or this person kind of above you on a pedestal, and the perspective shifts from whatever it is you were doing to instead trying to change the person or to appease the person, get the person to give you feedback that's different from what it was. And that's just an example, but we're talking about people pleasing. So we've all experienced things like that, okay? One of the ways that you can combat this is by journaling. Yes, journaling. You can also breathe to bring yourself back into the present moment, and you can see a hypnotherapist. Now, I know those things sound a little cliche, but it's really the truth. See, the breathing will bring you to the present moment and get you out of that habitual space that is the primitive mind, in which you go into the people-pleasing. Breathing, bringing you into the present moment, relaxing you, relaxing the nervous system, getting the sympathetic nervous system to shut off. That's essentially what that is. Another form, journaling. The therapeutic journaling is extremely, extremely helpful. You'll be very surprised, actually, what you can get from journaling. You start off with, I'm dealing with this, and it makes me feel this way, and continue writing to the bottom of the page. And you'll be extremely surprised when you read back over some of the things that you said. And it can be very helpful. And if those things are things that you don't necessarily identify with or don't want to try, even though I think you should, then you can see a hypnotherapist. You can hit me up and we can for sure help, get you in hypnosis, relax you, and get some information into that subconscious mind that's really beneficial and remove the information that's not so beneficial. Those are some ways, that you can deal with fawning. And I hope that kind of clears up exactly what fawning is. And we'll talk more about it in the next video when I talk about the other responses pertaining to the primitive mind. I hope all is well with you. Peace.